Team here. Let's get to it. It is January 4th, 2023. This is Reality Stretch. I'm your host, Spencer Ingram. Let's stretch reality together. All right. Here we go. January 4th. Let's get this done. I started a second podcast to help keep things organized. It's the RealityStretchReads podcast. So as I read books that are in public domain, then I'll put them on that second podcast so that way I don't jumble up my episode order, etc. So everything's the exact same. It's just called the Reality Stretch Reads podcast rather than the Reality Stretch podcast. And here we are on this live stream. Happy January 4th. I do have a schedule. I do have a plan to make this thing consistent. Let's talk about it. But first, Amby's joining me. So I'm going to invite Amby to the stream so we can chit chat here. Just getting the meeting set up right now. All right, I invited him. There we go. Lots to do this year. Let me talk about two podcasts that I really, really like. I'm going to add this to the show notes that I actually might publish today. Who knows? I might, maybe not. One is the It's a Good Life podcast by Brian Buffini of Buffini & Co. They coach realtors, and now they're kind of shifting, rebranding a little bit to focus more on, not more, but additionally on small business owners. So they changed the name of the podcast from the Brian Buffini Show to It's a Good Life podcast. Who knows? Probably for the eventuality that they will have other hosts in there besides Brian Buffini, which would be a sad day, but who knows? He released an episode yesterday, and it was a great New Year's listen, if you're curious. And then another podcast that I really, really like, and it's underrated, is Econ Talk. Conversations for the Curious. Let's take a look. The host is Russ Roberts, and it really is just conversations for the curious, which works very well for my Reality Stretch brand. Being able to stretch reality, learn something new, and apply what we learn into our lives to change our lives for the better. So yesterday I listened to Hannah Ritchie on Eating Local, and it's just fun. You'll just have to give it a shot. So I'm gonna put in here in the show notes my two favorite podcasts right now are It's a Good Life podcast by Brian Buffini of Buffini & Co. and the Econ Talk with Russ Roberts. I also have another show that's a really fun and entertaining listen, and that's Darknet Diaries with the mysterious Jack Reciter is the name which he goes by, obviously not his real name. But that's a really fun production, and he's taking a break until like March, though, regrettably. But look, I get it. I understand. He might be a little bit burned out, not having had a break for so long. So those are my current favorite podcasts. But now, my next favorite is RealityStretchReads. So we're starting with the science of getting rich. Now, I'm reading this quite aggressively and quickly. RSS Reality Stretch. So this is Reality Stretch, subdomain hosted on RSS. You can go to Reality Stretch Reads, and you can listen to the science of getting rich. Now, again, I'm reading this book very aggressively and quickly, and I do stumble and falter, and I might need to re-upload some audio. Give me a second here. Hang on. I'm back. So I might need to re-upload some of the audio if it's too jumbled, garbled. I do stumble over myself a little bit, but something that I'm trying to improve is learning to speak with greater rapidity and greater urgency. Why? Because we live in urgent times. Urgent, positively urgent. There's a lot of wonderful things to do, and plenty of time in which to get them done. So, considering there's plenty of good things to do and ample time to do them, in which to do them, why not do them faster or sooner than later? Why procrastinate doing something good? So, we are urgently doing good in the Reality Stretch brand. There you have it. Urgently doing good. Hey, I'm going to include that in part of my charge, am I not? So, show notes. What are we looking at? We don't have to dig anything out of the podcast, the sandbox yet, because so far what we've talked about are my favorite podcasts today. And one is mine, Reality Stretch. I'd say 2 is mine, Reality Stretch Reads. 3 would be It's a Good Life with Brian Buffini. And 4th would be Econ Talk with Russ. Hey, Amby, unmute yourself. Are you muted?
No, I don't think so. Am I?
I don't think so. No, you're good. You're there. All right, let me see. Where's my person's list? And can I pin you? Yes, I'm going to pin you to the screen. There we go. Now
Look at you, Hito. Look at Spiffy.
Looking spiffy, huh?
Oh, yeah.
All right, I've got to turn you up. Dude, your microphone sucks. Do you have your other mic?
Let me, it might be where I'm at. Give me 1 second.
I don't think it's where you're, I don't know. It probably isn't where you're at. It's probably the mic itself. But you sounded great last time, and this time you sound all tinny. So maybe, do you have 2 microphone sources or just one?
Just one right now.
Okay, so that's fine. We'll just work with what we have. I was going to see if you might have different audio sources and that you need to configure on your device. All right, let me see here.
I have kind of like some headphones that I could talk into to see if that will help bring that clearer.
Oh, that's good. No worries. Let's see. I'm going to see if I can rearrange this view. Do I have to hold again Alt to do this? I think I hold Alt. There we go. have to readjust. Let's see. That'll work. That'll work. Got you back in the picture. Huh? There we go.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so now if I go to my other source, I should be able to add you here. Oh, what? I have to adjust it there too. How lame. I'll figure out a better way to do this. I will figure it out. Drag you here. Boom. Boom. So what you got for us today, Amby? What are you bringing our way? What are you bringing my way? You can think about it. I don't want to put you on the spot. Why don't I start by telling you what I'm doing right now?
Let's do it.
All right. So first of all, say a few things for me so I can make sure I can adjust the sound.
Hi, how are you? I got some great calls this morning. Was in the hot tub watching deer walk around. It was a lovely morning.
That sounds awesome. Good. Good. Okay. All right. I got you adjusted. All right. I want to hear more about that. So this is going to be a very short stream today and subsequently a short podcast because I've been reading The Science of Getting Rich, right?
Oh, yeah. I've been following along.
You've been following along? Well, guess what, Amby? I paid a little bit extra on my subscription to RSS.com, who's hosting my podcasts, in order to set up a second podcast. Boom. So,
well, congratulations. I think it's worth the investment because you've been consistent and it seems to really excite you. So I think that's a really good investment that you did.
Well, it excites me. Good point. It excites me. And also it's like I mentioned previously, it's just my accountability, right? Like
yes.
By committing myself to do this podcast daily, it's assisting with the accountability, right? And helping me actually get up in the morning. Today I was late and that's why we need to keep this short because I have to get to my other appointments. That's the other thing that I really need to work on is get consistent with the calendar. So let me show you what I'm trying to do. Okay.
Let's do it.
Let me show you what I'm trying to do here. I'm going to take my calendar event and I'm going to copy it into this notepad right here. So let's see here. This is what I'm trying to do. Okay. I'm turning my mornings into content mornings. Can you see
yes.
my screen?
I can.
All right. Let me zoom in. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to wake up at 5 a.m. All right. You were doing the 5 a.m. club. You were doing that. Are you doing the grind, waking up at 5 a.m.?
I was 5 a.m. 3 days in a row after the trip.
Yeah. So I need to get into that. Now here's the other problem. My kids go to bed super, super late. And I have a hard time getting them to bed earlier, and my wife has a hard time getting them to bed earlier. They just stay up late. And we try to get them to go to bed early, and they just don't. So here's my conundrum. I don't want to sacrifice this morning creativity goal that I have. And my kids consistently go to bed at like 11:30 every night.
Yeah, that's rough.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be okay with 6 hours of sleep every night. So I'm going to try really hard to get them to bed by 10.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go to bed by 11. Okay? So that's what I'm doing. And if I can sleep from 11 to 5 and get 6 hours of sleep, I believe that my body, people will say that's ill-advised. They will say it's unhealthy, but I'm going to give it a shot. And if I could do that for at least 3 weeks to a month, I think my body will gradually adapt. Because I know people who used to get very little sleep every night. And they're some of the most productive people that I know. And so
Yeah.
I love sleep, and undoubtedly it's good for my health. Sleeping is not excessive, but within reason. Um,
Yeah.
anyway, so that's what
I
I'm
get
just.
about 6 hours.
Yeah, see, you get about 6 hours.
You know what helps me is like, so what I've had to like do to myself, because I have to, I don't want to say I trick myself, but I find ways that help me achieve what I'm trying to do in the morning. So I'll throw off the blankets, and then I'll sit on the bed, and if I feel like I want to like lay down, well, one, I'll have the heater ready because sometimes I don't want to get out of the blankets because it's just cold.
Right.
Or and if I don't have the heater going or it doesn't feel warm, I just throw the blankets off. I'll sit on the bed. If I still feel like I want to lay down, I get up, I drink my water, and then I just start like doing push-ups right away, or just start putting on my shoes to go, to go do some kind of activity or workout just so I could feel awake. But I try to immediately leave the room.
Yeah, that's really smart.
I
That,
really try. And I just tell myself, like, I always say, oh, what a blissful day. I woke up and I just like popped myself out of bed, and I just kind of had to, I tried a lot of different things. Like I've tried laying there and staring at the ceiling. I just end up falling back asleep.
oh yeah, absolutely. 100%. Yeah.
But I know, are you doing your running still or going to the gym?
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Here's what's funny. Here's what's funny. I get super, super bored at the gym. I feel great. I feel great. But where I'm going now is if this makes sense, this is just going to sound lazy, okay?
Mhm.
But don't let it sound lazy. I want to go. So you've heard of the athletic physique, and you've
Yeah.
heard of the, what do you call like someone who's totally ripped and jacked and buff? Like, what do you call that physique?
There's aesthetic, and then there's like bodybuilder type.
So there's bodybuilder type, there's aesthetic, there's athletic. You want to know what build I'm going for?
The dad bod.
The intellectual build.
The intellectual build.
So, did you know that chess players burn lots of calories in a match? Did you know that? Maybe not a
I didn't.
lot. So, how many calories do chess players burn? It's not a lot, but check it out. Research suggests that a chess player could burn up to 132 calories per hour. And for a
Oh,
9-hour haul, it could be around 1,188 calories
that's
consumed
just
while
that's
playing
just as
chess.
good as a workout.
So what I'm saying is I'm going for an intellectual build. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing daily intermittent fasting. My hope is to
Mm.
have a nice, large, whole food, plant-based meal for lunch around 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then at night, have a fruit and veg smoothie. Right now, my
Mm.
favorite smoothie is, I haven't made it in a few months, but hopefully I'm going to get the ingredients and do it again today. Spinach, applesauce, and dates.
Ooh, that does sound good. I love dates.
Oh,
Mm,
and
spinach.
just a little bit of dates. So do the most of spinach, obviously, and then
Yeah.
do a little bit of applesauce and a little bit less dates. Just those three ingredients. Maybe add a
Yeah.
little bit of salt to it when you're done if you want to taste, but I typically don't. And then
Yeah.
I get unsweetened applesauce without any extra gobbledygook in it,
Yeah. Because the dates are pretty sweet.
Yeah, the dates are very sweet, yeah.
You know what I watched the other day was because this lady used to make me prune pie, but anyways, that's a different story. I was watching a video on stuff to make with dates, and it says how to make a Snickers bar with dates.
I would
And they just cut it open, they put some peanut butter in it, and a few peanuts. I don't know if it does or not, but I feel like I'm gonna test that theory out.
that sounds like a great venture. It really does. I can support that venture. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I'm there for it. That sounds good. Why put peanuts in it though? Why not just use crunchy peanut butter?
I think you saved me a few bucks on buying some peanuts.
uh, I love crunchy peanut butter. Are
I
you a
do
smooth
too.
peanut butter or a crunchy guy?
I like the crunchy.
Nice, good. Yeah, yeah. I
I
can
like those.
relate
Just a huge spoon I could walk around with. Huge
for
spoon of
sure.
peanut butter.
For sure. All right. Well, let me tell you here what this. So after I wake up at 5, I'm gonna read a book from 5:30 to 6:15. Okay,
Okay.
and then I'm going to if the book is in public domain, I will record myself reading the book as I read it. So I'll read it audibly, record it, and upload it onto my Reality Stretch Reads podcast if it is in public domain. If the book is not in the public domain, I'll simply upload like a summary of the book, either when I'm done or like an intermittent summary of the highlights or the takeaways or the things that I thought were valuable from the book. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I actually on the Kindle, I appreciate those books because I was trying to read the in inventive investor.
Uh huh.
And I like really wasn't getting it, but there was also other books that kind of does like an analyst and summary, and it just really helped me understand because I wanted the material in the books, but I couldn't like really break it down myself.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. So if I'm reading like the book that I just got, the Kick Up Some Dust, the Bernie Marcus book, the Home Depot one I told you about,
Oh
like
yeah.
that one I'll read it and then I'll summarize it and give my favorite takeaways and lessons. The other one that I really want to read again is called The Charisma Myth by Olivia Fox Cabane.
Ooh,
I've listened to it once and it's the bomb. It's super great and I want to listen to that again, or read it and then summarize it. So the Reality Stretch Reads podcast is going to be me actually reading books that are in the public domain or summarizing books that are not. Make sense? But
yes.
then I also had a really cool idea. You want to hear the cool idea for the podcast?
Yes, I do.
So you know how when you're on Twitter, if you find a really long thread, there are some bots and some teams where you can tag that account and they will unpack it or save it for you or like upload it to a file for you, right?
Oh yeah.
Like the unroll the thread or whatever.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing with the Reality Stretch Reads is if someone tags me in a long Twitter thread, I will read the thread on the podcast.
Awesome. I
So
think that is a great idea.
so if you're scrolling Twitter and you see a really long self-help thread and you're like, "Yo, this looks really good. I want to listen to this, but I don't want to take the time to read it right now because I'm just scrolling Twitter. I'm sitting on the toilet. I have 2 minutes. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't want to take time to read this right now." Just tag Reality Stretch with the keyword. So do at Reality Stretch in the comments and then put the keyword reads, and I will add it to my queue and I'll read it and I'll shout out the author of the tweet as well as the person that requested the read.
Awesome. I think that's a great way to go. I'm getting more on that platform because I haven't really messed with it other than when I was playing with NFT for a really short period of time. And then since you put your show back on, I've been um paying more attention to it, especially because of what I'm interested in and Elon Musk. You gotta follow that guy.
Oh yeah, I follow Elon. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's incredibly entertaining to follow and informative as well. But
Very it just helps with the whole AI stuff, what's going on with that.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So from 6:15 to 6:30, I'm going to take notes on the book and add them to the show notes or Substack, give thoughts on the reading material. If I've read the audiobooks, then I will if I've read the books, I will upload them at that time. And then at 6:30, I'm going to plan the stream and the podcast. Okay? And then from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Mountain Time, I'm going to stream, placing the podcast worthy content near the front of the stream, and then the stream worthy discussions and content at the back of the stream. And then I'm going to upload the podcast at 9 a.m. write the Substack post and publish all content, and then be done by 9:30.
That sounds like the most productive morning and a good morning.
Boom! I've got the Amby endorsement.
Yeah.
I've got the Amby endorsement. Thank you.
I think that's good. And it's even, it seems like a short amount of time, but like you said, you just get a lot more done in an hour these days. Like that's like a whole other, I don't even want to say side hustle, but a whole other like job creation that you're doing for yourself.
Well, 4 hours a day. Like if you consider time in increments of a half hour rather than an hour, yeah, I mean, if you can make that time very well spent and effective, then yeah, it's like a whole other life, you know.
And all the research that I've been doing for like how to do stuff online, whether it's podcasts, and anything like opening a new side hustle, they say if you put at least 2 hours a day, it could replace what you do currently if that's what you're looking for.
Interesting.
And you're doing 4, so
well,
you're ahead of the game, Hito.
I actually like my day job though. I think I'll always do it as a hobby.
I know.
I mean,
I think
if this effort, if the Reality Stretch brand, if the podcast, if we ever get sponsorship, advertisements, whatever, that would be great. That would be great. And if it ever replaces my income, that would be fun. That would be fun. But I'll still do my daily job just because I enjoy it. And so right now the podcast is my hobby and my day job's my job. And monetarily, if that ever flips, my day job will be my hobby.
I mention it because I love work. Period. It keeps me busy, and then definitely like the hobby. But I'm just letting you know, statistically, you're because you're consistent and you're doing the right amount of hours. I don't see why you wouldn't blow up.
Oh well, thank you. That's thoughtful.
And there'll be more time in. Yeah, there'll be more time in your hobby, and then of course you could always have what you enjoy for your day work. But I feel like if you blow up, your hobby's going to become just something that's going to be a new part of you. It's going to be the new.
Nice. Well, thank you. Very, very encouraging. Very encouraging, motivating. Just clip that and upload it. That's going to be the new you. I had a thought that I wanted to add to the charge, a concept that I wanted to capture, but it slipped my mind. Hopefully if I re-listen to this podcast, because again, were you ever in Boy Scouts? I don't know if you were Boy Scouts.
No, I haven't been.
So there's the Scout Oath and the Scout Law, which all the little scouts recite, right? And the oath is, on my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout Law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. And then the law was, a scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Okay? And now all the scouts recite those pretty much every meeting. And that's why I'm able to recall them. So what I'm working on is like a reality stretch charge, something that I can repeat daily. That's like a combination of an affirmation and a mantra to basically ingrain these principles of advancement and abundance into my mind.
I say go for it. That's a great idea.
But I'm going to try to keep it under something that's like a under 20-second recitation. So in order to do that, you have to parse through this info to highlight the most important aspects. But here are my goals. I told you I was going to share my goals with you. So far, these are my personal goals. Journaling every day. Yesterday was my first time at night I journaled. So, off to some 0 game there. But hey, 100% improvement from the day before. Then planning each day. I know I didn't. Dude, I've got them right here. I need to open them and use them. I actually journal on my laptop in a Google Doc. But I do need to start doing physical notes, and then planning each day it's kind of like in conjunction with journaling. As I journal, I'll also plan. And then purposeful social media. No more aimlessly scrolling on Twitter in the cyberspace, Instagram,
Oh yeah,
whatever. So
it
that's,
happens fast.
yeah, that kills my momentum. And it just, so purposeful social media, meaning planned activities with a purpose. I'm there to share something. I'm there to learn something. And then read scriptures and pray daily. Spend time with God. Attend the temple weekly. So in my religion, we have a temple, and it's all about worshiping Jesus Christ and almost like paying tribute to Jesus Christ in a sense. So, and it's a holy space. So I'm gonna try to go attend the temple weekly, and we can talk more about that. But then quality and substantive time with family every day. Be organized and productive in work. Follow key performance indicators and reports. So attain 180-pound lean and athletic physique by June 1st. But I'm going to change that to intellectual. We've coined a new term. It's the intellectual build. It's the intellectual physique.
And I'm actually one of the calls this morning. It's about that. Is when I got here, I was actually strolling through YouTube. Was it YouTube or Instagram? One of the social platforms. Though, I don't know if you ever get any fitness things that pop up, but it's 45. It's a new workout program that's out here, and they're doing 6 free. They're gonna invite 6 people to do like a 8-week hardcore training and meal plan.
Nice.
And I actually got picked for it, and it's like this free program that they're trying. It's a pilot program because they have, I guess, a new routine that they want to launch. So I'm going to be the guinea pig, which I don't mind because that's in line with us trying to be fit by the 1st.
Oh, love
Thank
it.
you.
Love it.
So I'm going to be meeting with them later this afternoon because I was picked in the raffle.
Nice. That's awesome. Good.
And it's an actual place. It's not a scam. I was like, you guys aren't scamming me, right?
Well, if they don't require any sort of tribute or sacrifice, then even if it is a scam, it's in your favor.
It's a local number, a local address. So I was like super excited.
Well, that is awesome. That's gonna be fun. You're gonna have to, call me and tell me more about that.
I will.
Can I go back to these goals? Rattle through them.
I'm liking it. I added some of them to my what I should do daily just to fill it up, because I feel like when I have a little bit of like just nothing really structured or planned, I tend to do useless things, not useful things.
Yeah, no, I can completely relate to that. It's just so easy. And, you've listened to that It's a Good Life podcast
yes.
from Brian Buffini. There's a new episode that came out, I think, yesterday or the day before, and I listened to it. Absolutely fantastic. But he talks a lot about you don't want to be adrift. You don't want to be drifting through life and be subject to being tossed and turned and moved about by other influences. You don't want to be adrift. You want to be steering, sailing. You want to have a motor, right? You want to actually move, not be adrift. Anyway, I want to do the Reality Stretch podcast daily. I want to write and publish a book. Kindness is capital. I think I've told you about that a little bit. But it's going to focus on like the currency of kindness. And like when I was small, my sister and I started a club when we were like 6 years old and 8 years old that we called like do-gooders, the do-gooders club. And we just went around doing good things. And the do-gooders club. And so I want to basically, because here's the thing, being kind is free. It doesn't cost you anything. And there's a tangible energy to being kind. So really it's just a limitless resource, and it's synonymous with like gratitude and all these other things. So, but that's what I want the book to be. And I found a platform where I can publish a book, like self-publish a book, but I still get an ISBN number and all that good stuff. So like, I want to do that this year.
I say go for it.
I want to graduate finally from college, because you know that I've taken like a bazillion years, because I take a class and then I take a break, then I take a class and I take a break. So let's make this the year I actually finish my undergrad. Practice excellent gratitude every day. Emphasize gratitude in all daily routines. Focus on what I want. Visualize what I want rather than focusing on what I do not want. Be proactable. Yes. Increase proactability. Flow with the universe. Develop the RealityStretch Charge and repeat daily, and exercise daily. So I'm still going to exercise, Amby. Don't be worried. Don't be worried about me. I'll do push-ups. I'll do calisthenics. I might go to the gym on occasion. You know?
Hey, I was going to say the reason I get bored at the gym, but the kind of workouts that I do, it usually takes about a half hour, maybe an hour if I'm feeling myself. But I'll send you some things that I do. I think you'll have fun. And then when I meet with these people here in the afternoon, I'll give you the lowdown and possibly record myself or send you what it is that I'm doing. So it could be free for you also.
Absolutely. I would love that. I would love that. Send it over.
I will. And I'll let you know what they say and what the program's going to be about. And I'll have you tag along with me in that. And I'm also on that vegan kick with you. I've just been eating a lot of Brussels sprouts lately. That's been the thing.
I love Brussels sprouts. Do you have anything pulled up to be able to hear the stream? I need to figure out how you can hear desktop audio. I want to show you something. This probably violates some sort of copyright, but we're not big enough that anyone would care. Okay. There's an old series called Jeeves and Wooster that was hilarious.
Alrighty.
Let's see if this
pops. I have you on my phone today. I couldn't find my USB.
Dude, nobody. Oh crap. Oh, I'm on your phone. That probably explains some of the audio.
I'm on the laptop talking to you, but then I have you playing separately.
That makes sense. Yo, this is from a show called Jeeves and Wooster. Okay, and this is one of the funniest parts. We're gonna watch this. There's so many funny parts, but there's this guy in this series named Spode, and he's like, he runs this movement. Sorry for the similarities with like the Nazi party. That's kind of messed up. But this is an old series with Hugh Laurie and Stephen Fry, and this guy, you got to hear it. See if you can hear this.
Okay, I'm gonna turn it up now.
This guy, you gotta hear it. See if you can hear this.
He's just this guy that has this.
It's never out. The standard of umpiring in village cricket nowadays is really very poor. Stop the car, Bertie. Look here, Spurt, will you keep this rabble of yours out of the way of the traffic?
How dare you? This highly trained force is far more right to the road than you. I am not in the habit of talking rot.
Well, I can say you're doing dashed well for a beginner. Drive on, Bertie.
I am not in the habit of talking.
So I'm getting an echo. So when you play a video on the stream, mute Google Meet, so that way we don't get like some feedback. Does that make sense? And then unmute yourself and comment on it. I'll send you a link of this. It's hilarious because there's this one part where like Spode, who's like the leader of this like small like political group, this movement that he has, and he thinks it's going to take the world by storm. It's so comical, and there's this one part where he's just promoting Brussels sprouts. And he's like talking about how everybody should eat Brussels sprouts. And it's one of the funniest things. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. It makes me laugh so hard. So that obviously wasn't the clip. I'll have to find it and send it to you later. And
Well,
maybe
him
bring it
just
up
saying
tomorrow.
my highly trained team, and they're walking around in circles.
Yeah, well, they were goose stepping. They were marching, and then when the car rolled up behind them, they all like stumbled into each other and ran into each other, and it was a big hubbub. It was really funny, but. Yet another show that probably couldn't be written or released today, but it came out in the 90s, and it's pretty funny. It's really funny if you ever watch it. Anyway, Brussels sprouts are the best.
Yes.
I actually have to go to an appointment at 10:30, which gives me like 15 minutes to get there. So if it's cool with you, what are you free tomorrow to hop on?
Oh, I'm planning on staying a part of the 5 a.m. club with you.
Okay, good. Well, since you're in a different time zone now, my
Oh, yeah.
5 a.m. club is your 4 a.m. club. So since I'm streaming I'm going to stick to my schedule tomorrow, and you're my accountability partner. Okay. So since I'm streaming from 7 to 8 a.m., that's 6 to 7 your time. Okay. So get up at 5 a.m. if you want to, do your routine, whatever, and then join me at 6 a.m. your time, 7 a.m. my time, and we'll do the stream. Sound good?
You know, that works out perfectly.
Give me a shout later today so I can hear what your calls were this morning, okay?
Oh yeah, good calls. We're on our best timeline, Hito.
All right. Stream again tomorrow. We'll see ya.
All right. See ya.
Thanks.